side he will be. So Krishna woke up and saw Arjun first, like that. Yeah.
If Krishna went to the Kauravas side, he always thought of the well-being of the Pandavas. However, it might have been partial.
Hey guys, welcome to the 5th episode of Khoj.
I'm Dhruva.
I'm Rajashri.
I am Ayush.
And I'm Anika.
And today let's all dive into the world of mythology.
So Didi, what is the definition of mythology?
Mythology is nothing but a cluster of myths that is related to the various traditions and culture that are followed throughout the world. So that's the general definition. But what does mythology mean for you guys?
Actually, for me, mythology is getting to know about the people, their culture, their lifestyle who existed in those times.
Mythology for me is the reason to question my existence, and that feeling is just awesome. Like, we have a lot of vast things in mythology. There is Greek mythology, Indian mythology, Persian mythology,
Right.
and the subject is very interesting.
So why not start with Indian mythology? Mahabharata?
So Mahabharata has many vast characters, obviously known as the war between the brothers. So what's your favorite character?
To be very honest, it's Karna.
Karna is a favorite character, and I also want to just make an opinion that he is the most underrated character of Mahabharata.
Yeah, I agree to what Ayush says.
No one has discovered Karna. Like, everyone knows about Arjun, everyone knows about Duryodhan, Bhim, but no one has ever talked about the perspective of Karna.
And even many a times Karna, he joined the Kaurava army, but still, Karna is seen as a bad person. He was not a bad person in real.
Karna basically was one of the Pandavas, the eldest,
He was
to
the
be
Pandava.
precise.
Right.
But the thing is, he was denied his right, and afterwards he felt hurt because his own brothers
Family
Were
rejected
against
him.
him.
I would like
they
to.
were against him.
Yes, I.
I would like to add something. Actually, as the story goes, Lord Parshuram cursed Karna that he would not recollect, like he would be unable to recollect the knowledge he gained at the time when he needed it the most.
That's the reason why Karna was killed.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise, there is also a legend where Krishna is questioned by Karna in the heavens. Krishna is questioned by Karna that why my courage, my bravery, my warfare skills are not so appreciated during my lifetime. Krishna, in answer to that, says the very fact that I had to order Arjun to kill you, disarmed, helpless, and you doing all the efforts to take out your chariot wheel out of the mud, that itself proves that you were a greater warrior than Arjun.
Yeah, I agree.
Even everyone believed that Karna was a greater warrior than Arjun.
Yeah.
Right.
It was actually a fact that whenever Arjun's arrows used to hit Karna's chariot, the chariot did not even go even 2 feet behind. But whenever Karna's arrows hit Arjun's chariot, the thing is, basically Arjun's chariot held the cosmic power of the entire universe because Hanuman was on the flag and Krishna was as his charioteer. But still, the chariot used to be pushed almost 10 feet backwards. So, the debate here itself gets closed that Arjun or Karna, who is the greater archer?
Yeah, that is why every time when there was a competition of archery or some times to show the skills of archery, Karna was always held back because people knew he was stronger than Arjun.
Even Bhishma, he kept this fact hidden just because he wanted to favor Arjun. Dronacharya himself denied the fact that he too also knew the fact that Karna was not a Suputra but Kunti's son. But the fact that he had promised himself that he'll make Arjun the greatest, that held him somewhere.
Also, Karna was loyal to the Kauravas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mainly to Duryodhan.
Because Duryodhan gave him everything. Now people used to insult him. People
Right.
called out names to him. Duryodhan gave him kingdom. Duryodhan respected him. Many things were there.
Like,
That
we can learn this quality from Karna, that
I agree.
you should be loyal to the people who help you in your hard times, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Another quality about which we can talk about Karna is he did not believe in keeping wealth himself. He gave. He was a we can say donor. He
Yeah.
just kept on giving everything.
Giving nature, we say that.
Yeah, and that was just great because from the amount of pain he suffered from, got rejected by his family, everyone insulted him, and still he kept on giving people happiness.
True that.
It takes a big courage to do that.
Because Karna's whole life is struggle. Till death, Karna kept struggling.
Even
He
after
used to-
struggle, even after his death, Karna's teeth were plucked out by Krishna and they were preserved by Krishna just because the teeth also turned golden after Karna died. So the teeth were preserved so that the teeth won't be used in any tantric pujas or other
Evil
occult
sources.
occult
Malpractices.
rituals. So Karna was that much a pure soul that even his teeth were turned into solid gold after he died.
So guys, let's talk about Lord Krishna and his role in Mahabharata. I think
Yes.
the role was very crucial.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Krishna, the supreme being, explainer of the Bhagavad Gita, if he just wanted, with a snap of his fingers, just like Thanos, could have stopped each and every single thing that happened in the Mahabharata.
But his hands were tied not to.
Maybe he knew at the moment that what is most important at that time.
Not just these things, but if he stopped, what was going to happen? We would not have gotten our Bhagavad Gita, the
Yeah.
very basic principle of our religion, Hindu religion.
Not only that, but apart from the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata has explained us many things just with the simple fact that how can brothers so close to each other fight for something as petty as a throne?
Like think about it, na guys. Krishna, when Arjun asked Krishna, "How should I fight against my own brother?" How difficult it would have been for Krishna to explain that you have to fight against him. You have no other option to fight against him.
Like, just keep that emotion of like, he is my brother. Now you have to keep it aside.
Yeah, you need to fight against him.
Right.
Just having Krishna in their side, Pandavas were so overpowered. Like he was the undue advantage they got.
Not only that, but the Pandavas were severely overpowering, not just due to Krishna, but due to their various boons and the various weapons they possessed. So it was somehow destined that the Kauravas were going to get a defeat. Even Duryodhan had at some point accepted this fact, but the fact is that he stuck to the rules
Yeah.
of the war and stuck to his dharma, his Kshatriya dharma, never to back off from a failing war too.
Yeah.
And so he too accepted a defeat, though it was unethical, but he too accepted a defeat that was.
Tari, you
appropriate
also
for him.
told me that the story that day that when Arjun asked Krishna, "Why should I fight against my own brother?" Krishna showed him his original form.
Right.
And
And after watching the original form of Krishna, maybe Arjun was filled with confidence. That's my perspective. Maybe after watching Krishna, he might have felt that this is the divine form. He is the Paramatma. What do we say, right?
And if someone shows us its original form, we should fight, or we should at least act as it says to us.
And after watching the avatar of Krishna at that time, he might have realized that what's the need? Like, we have to keep these emotions aside and fight for this.
speaking rationally, Krishna himself has gone through this phase that killing his own uncle, his own maternal uncle, even though however evil he is, even though how many ever times he has tried to kill Krishna himself, how difficult it must have been for a 14-year kid to kill his own uncle just to restore peace and release his parents.
Yeah, it's difficult.
That's what mythology is about. It tends to question everything. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? I just want your opinion on this one thought. Ki what would have happened if Krishna was on the Kaurava's side? Like, you know the story where Duryodhan and Arjun went to ask Krishna on whose side he will be. So Krishna woke up and saw Arjun first. Like that, yeah.
The thing is that if Krishna went to the Kaurava's side, he always thought of the well-being of the Pandavas. However, it might have been partial. So even if he would have gone to the Kaurava side, unknowingly he was destined to help the Pandavas.
I have a different opinion about it. If Krishna was on the, like, it's my perspective. If Krishna was on the Kaurava's side, maybe the evil would never have been defeated. I guess because Kauravas were evil. They did many things wrong. So if Krishna had to help them, I don't think that the evil would have been defeated back then. It would still have been continued up till now.
I would say that the evil would have been defeated in a much more peaceful way.
Yeah. I agree to that.
I would like to
Arjun-
add something. I would like to add something that I think the Pandavas, like the win of Pandavas, was destined
Yeah.
because, like, as the we'll just go back in the time that like before the war, Krishna gave options like to Duryodhan and Arjun, that he asked that you want Narayani Sena or me. Duryodhan said, I want your Narayani Sena. So Arjun was left with only one option, which is Krishna. So eventually, Pandavas, like, they were like their
They were
victory was,
destined to win.
their victory was
Already
written.
I have
In
another
the-
angle
it was
on this.
destined.
Ki, what if the Narayana Sena was just an illusion?
How?
It was truly destined that Pandavas have to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
it was
True,
a
true.
test for Duryodhan and his
Might
mentality.
be, right.
Yeah, correct. Krishna might have tested Duryodhan also.
One more point is that what if instead of Arjun, Duryodhan was the recipient of the Bhagavad Gita? That would have changed Duryodhan much more better. And as people say that the Duryodhan mentality got forward, and that is how the mentality of the people of the Kali Yuga is right now. So Duryodhan would have questioned Krishna much more evilly from our point of view, and the Bhagavad Gita would have been more comprehensive than what it is today. That's what I feel.
What I feel is Duryodhan was stubborn enough to not understand Gita.
Yeah, correct. I have the same
But
perspective.
actually, at that time, he was just thinking of winning the war, nothing else.
Not winning the war, he was just thinking of taking revenge of Bhim.
Yeah, correct.
Actually.
Correct.
Like, he had
Like the
own-
emotions of like why should I don't want to fight with my family members. Like this emotion was not at all in his mind at that time. He was just behind of taking revenge.
Revenge. Yes. And it is said revenge is the most dangerous thing. It can
Speaking of
change.
revenge, let's go to Ravan.
Yeah.
What did Ravan do?
Right.
Revenge. What for? Revenge just for the sake of blood. What he did was just the opposite of Duryodhan. He fought for the blood of his sister. He fought for his brothers and sisters.
Yeah, correct.
So Ravan, if we are going by that point of view, Ravan is also not that evil.
Yeah, Ravan is
Yeah.
not that evil. Like, in Indian mythology, Ravan is portrayed as a villain, but he was not.
I agree to agree.
He was a big devotee of Lord Shiva, and because of that, I don't want to frame it as he was immortal, but he had gained some powers that made him immortal.
The famous Shiv Tandav Stotra that we hear places and places.
He composed that.
He composed the whole Shiv Tandav Stotra. While composing that, he also created an instrument out of one of his heads, his hands, and out of his intestines. imagine what kind of pain and what kind of devotion he had undergone to just please Lord Shiva.
Even when he kidnapped Sita, he didn't even touch her, just waiting for her approval.
Yeah.
Never Ravan came to her and touched her. By mistake also he did not.
It was said that Ravan was so handsome. It was said that all the women in Lanka just abandoned their husbands and went to Ravan just to be with him.
Yeah.
Ravan could have easily enchanted Sita with a much more handsomer form of his. But the thing is, he did not want to do that. He did not wanted to pollute that purity that Sita. So Ravan, somewhere his conscience pricked him that this is something that you have done wrong, and going a step forward, going one step ahead, and enchanting Sita, that would be the end. You are the most bad person.
We cannot say that Ravan was completely a bad personality, that he had a completely a bad personality. No, actually, just because of his greed, he was defeated by Ram.
Yeah. True.
But nobody in this world is not greedy. Someone always wants something that he is greedy behind.
Ram, he wanted his family name
of
to be
course.
intact. That's why he sent Sita to exile even after knowing the fact that Sita was pure and untouched by Ravan. Sita had to prove herself, prove her purity
By
to Lord
going
Ram.
through fire, na?
Yes, by going through fire. But still, a skeptical Ram sent her to exile just to keep his family name intact.
Yeah.
What I think is during the Swayamvar, Sita Swayamvar, Ravan was insulted by many of the people who were
In the
present
court.
in the Swayamvar. So, because of to take the revenge, he might have kidnapped Sita.
There comes another quality that the people were so jealous of Ravan's achievements that they started insulting him.
True.
Right.
And that is something that Ravan had to live with his whole
Whole
life.
life.
Even when his own father, was jealous of his intellect. So his father too tried to suppress him. Imagine what kind of an insulting thing it is that your own father is trying to suppress your knowledge just to keep his name intact or
His legacy
intact.
We talked about Karna. Now I want your opinions about Lakshman, because he is also an underrated person or a character. We do not discuss about Lakshman.
Yeah.
The whole Ramayana happened, and I think other than Sita, the person who suffered the most is Lakshman.
Yeah.
Right.
No one can ever do such things for his brother, not even his real brother.
Yes.
He was son from another mother, right?
Yes. He was a stepbrother.
Lakshman didn't sleep for 14 years just to serve his brother Ram. Like this shows
How loyal and caring he is.
Right.
There is also a misconception that Lakshman was a very short and a very feeble personality. But the thing is, Lakshman was so huge that even Hanuman was scared after seeing Lakshman at first. He was such a huge personality, and he had a very short-tempered persona. And this is explained in Valmiki's Ramayana during Sita Swayamvar, that when Janak Raja, Sita's father, declares that is there no Kshatriya capable enough to pick up a simple bow, this is when we understand how infuriated Lakshman used to get just by a general comment that consisted of his brother.
Right.
It also explains his love for his brother, but the way that anger is expressed, he directly in the open court, he is standing in Mithila. He does not have an army of his own. Right now he is a hermit, but he dared to challenge Janak that how do you dare to insult the Kshatriya race when a Raghuvanshi is standing in your court?
Because of his love for his brother, he did that.
It is said love makes us do anything and everything.
And also, everything is fair in love and war.
Right. True.
what would have happened if Lakshman was not there beside Ram?
It is that itself is explained in the Ramayana too. When Lakshman gets hit by Indrajit's arrows and he is fatally wounded, Ram himself explains that if Lakshman wouldn't have been there, he wouldn't have the courage just to go to the exile alone and survive for this long. If that too, he gave me the courage in absence of Sita just to keep myself living. And we say that Sita is a part. Sita completes Ram. That is not true.
Lakshman completes
Yeah.
Ram more than
Right.
Sita does.
Yes.
Right.
And we have never observed this one fact that the only person to know Ram the most carefully and to know the whole Ramayana is none other than Lakshman.
Yeah.
He knows Ram right from the birth to the time till he left for heaven. So no one has considered to take his account on the epic. And that's where Lakshman was very wrong. And I feel that this is a great injustice to a great character like him.
For me, Lakshman is the unsung hero of not Mahabharata, Ramayana.
Correct.
Yes.
If Lakshmana was absent in the Ramayana, today we wouldn't have known the quality of loving our elders, loving our family, our brothers, sisters, right?
True.
Means people joke that Dominic Toretto himself knows what is family. But the thing is,
True value of family was known by Lakshman, not
Yes.
Dominic Toretto.
yes. So the West should not be ignored as such, but find out what's going on in the Indian mythology. Find out our own past instead of going to the Western side and knowing their past.
Talking about the past, I just want to state a fact that it is claimed that Ravan had the Pushpak Viman.
Yes.
So in that era, where we believe that technology did not exist, having a Pushpak Viman was actually a symbol of having the greatest technology.
Yes.
I think we are gone backward from what there was at that time till now what we are having. The technology was so awesome. Like, for example, the forts built by Shivaji Maharaj are still there, and the roads built by some
Government
are washed away with one rain.
Yes.
True.
Very true.
True.
I think that we are technologically backward and they were very forward.
Like most
Yes.
of the time, the example of Ravan having Pushpak Viman was like considered as a joke many a times.
But it's a fact now.
Right.
It's a fact.
Yes. Also, one more thing, to be frank, it is a very sad thing to say that we, instead of rediscovering what we already have, the Westerns are discovering
What we
what
have.
we have. And that I consider that the Britishers have affected us. But the thing is that we did not even try to protect it. And that's where we have paid to be the descendants of our great ancestors.
Because we were unaware of it.
Yeah.
Like we were unable to protect it, right?
Now it's our job to protect our mythology and
Right.
bring it up.
rediscover it.
And, like,
Yes.
we should discover more.
As a future generation of this country, we have to do this.
Basically, every character, as we hear these stories as children, we get to know that Ram was good, Ravan was bad. Karna was on the bad side, Arjun was good on the good side, Krishna was on the good side. So, some of Shalya, the maternal uncle of Nakul and Sahadev, he sided with the Kauravas. So, as we step up and as we hear the stories again and again, we understand that no one is good and no one is bad.
Correct.
They are
Right.
basically two sides flipping of the same coin. At one point they are shown as good, and according to the circumstances they turned bad.
Bad.
The situation changes everything.
Yes.
Even Lord Ram himself, being the god, was not completely right.
Yeah.
Like, I myself feel bad for the Sita giving the Agni Pariksha. Like, if you are a one woman person, you should trust the woman you have.
Yes.
True.
You can't question her purity.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not explainable, but we should not also talk about this because he was a great legend.
Right.
Because of him, we know what our values are. So
True.
it would be disrespecting for Lord Ram if we discuss about his personal life, maybe.
Also, he was known as an ideal man, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a correction. Maryada Purushottam literally means an ideal follower of the rules that are set. He was not an ideal man. An ideal man sets the rules. He was not an ideal man. He was just a follower of the rules, no matter what the consequences were.
Yeah.
So, time and again, he himself said, I don't know what the consequences will be.
But I will just follow this.
I will follow this because this is given by our ancestors.
But
This
that's
is-
also difficult, na?
That is also very difficult.
Because you never know what the situation will be.
Yes.
Like maybe we say him as an ideal husband or a son because like after like getting to know about what he did, like we are just learning about him, right? Like when we just got to know about him, like after that we came to the conclusion that he was an ideal man or a son.
Yeah.
Right.
So we cannot entirely say that Lord Ram was the good character or Ravan was the bad character.
Right.
But just because Lord Ram he served a very higher purpose than Ravan, and just because he is an avatar of Lord Vishnu, he is revered all over.
That remembers, as we have Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh in Indian mythology, there are 3 gods in Greek mythology also, namely Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades.
Oh.
Yeah. Zeus rules the sky, Poseidon rules the sea, and Hades is known as the lord of the underworld, the dead. I cannot say technically the dead, but he is the ruler of the underworld basically.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Right.
I have not really discovered the Greek mythology, but I would love to hear about it.
Right.
Greek mythology is interesting. There is a story about Medusa and Athena. Athena is the goddess of wisdom and warfare, architecture also. And Medusa was one of
Basically, a priestess in Athena's temple, right?
Yeah.
With whom Poseidon fell in love with, or something of that.
Yeah, there is a story about that Medusa had vowed to Athena on celibacy that she would stay virgin till death. But what happened was she was very pretty and very beautiful. In Greek mythology, the gods come to human form and they roam around the earth. So it is said Poseidon came near Medusa, he fell in love with Medusa, and he tried to attract her towards him, but as it is said, Medusa did not want to break the
Wow.
vow given to Athena. She denied it. It is said that Medusa was raped by Poseidon in front of the Murti.
In front of Athena herself.
Athena's statue, in front of Athena's statue. And when Athena got to know that Medusa had broken the vow, she cursed Medusa. And I feel, it's my perspective, that it was not Medusa's fault alone. It was equally Poseidon's fault also. I want to know your views about it.
How was it even Medusa's fault if she got raped? How was it? I don't get it.
Basically, what I have heard is that Athena cursed Medusa because she was beautiful. She cursed Medusa to have those snake hair and have that eyes of terror, that look of death, just because she was pretty and just because her prettiness became the reason of her vow breaking. So I know Medusa is not to be blamed for it, but Medusa could have, I don't know, like in Indian mythology, how people pray when they are in danger for the gods to come and rescue them. She could have done something of that sort to recall Athena and save her from such an.
Fair point, but I don't feel it would have been useful because Poseidon was powerful than Athena. Poseidon was powerful. He was Athena's uncle.
Yes.
So I don't think it would have been, it's my perspective, it would not have been that useful. So guys, this was a different story, but let's just listen to one more interesting story in Greek mythology. Anudai, will you please brief us on that, known as Pandora's box?
Pandora's box. one of the most interesting stories in Greek mythology. So, what is this story? This story takes place a long time back when there was a clash between the Olympians and the Titans. Titan, Prometheus, one of the Titans, stole fire from the Olympians and gave it as a gift to mankind. When Zeus found out about this, he was furious and decided to punish him. So he chained him to a cliff, and every day a falcon used to come and eat his liver. Then at night, Prometheus used to heal, and the next day the falcon would come again, and this cycle used to go on forever. But Zeus was not satisfied. He was very angry with the mankind as well for accepting this gift from Prometheus. So he decided to punish them and started plotting his revenge. He then went to Hephaestus, who was a smithing god who used to make weapons for all the other Greek gods. He told him to make a very beautiful woman. So he made that woman from clay. Then all the gods bestowed gifts upon her. Then Zeus gave her a box with a warning that she should not open this box at all. If she does, she will have to face the consequences. And with this, she was sent to Earth. Her name was Pandora because of all the gifts that were bestowed upon her. But having an object which you cannot open or don't know what it is would make anyone curious. So her curiosity got the best of her, and one day she opened that box. And out came a very negative vibe and a very bad odor, because in the box was stored all of the curses by Zeus. All of these came out and were unleashed into the world. Pandora didn't know what to do and quickly shut the box, but it was already too late. Everyone was suffering through all of this, all of these problems. So, having no other option, Pandora opened the box again. And out came something very positive, very warm, and that was hope. Pandora she was relieved, because after unleashing such evil onto the world, something like this coming from the box made her feel very calm. So now the main question is, if Zeus really wanted to destroy or punish mankind, then why did he put hope in the box? His plan was actually to teach a lesson and not completely destroy mankind. He just wanted to tell them that if they go against the gods, this is what will happen. And he also wanted to tell them that they should earn the gods' respect. So hope should always be eternal. So this is the story of Pandora's box. Now, what do I take away from this story is that how accurate this story is in today's times. I mean, we all are suffering through many things, like especially now during COVID-19, there are many deaths, a sickness, then there are famine, and then there are floods in areas because of the weather. Pandora here represents mankind. But I also really feel that the gods are insecure in a way, because they always want to be in power no matter what. They can bend rules according to the way they want to bend rules. So there are many similarities and many things that we can relate to with this story. So this is what I think, this is my perspective. In the story, Pandora was used as a pawn. She was just a way for Zeus to execute his plot. And now my question is to all of you, what do you think of the story? What do you feel after reading the story?
This was kind of a manipulation, because Zeus knew that no mortal has that much a control
On his emotions.
on his or her emotions. So it is very unfair to blame wholly and solely Pandora. Zeus got his revenge and he taught the lesson to all the mortals. But I feel it was done in a very
Subtle way.
not in a subtle way, but it was not a very smooth way. That means he wanted to set an example, which he did, but like other stories that I have heard of setting examples and teaching someone a lesson, this was far more worse, because just because Pandora opened the box, not
Many
only
people.
her, but many of the mortals got affected. So just to set an example, I have heard many stories where while setting an example, the person in the example itself is only affected. But here, unnecessarily, the innocent mortals also fell
Yeah.
prey to this whole scenario. So means again we come to the same point, that no one is white or no one is black. No one is good or no one is black. No one is good and no one is bad. but the whole entire process is just to explain the fact that good or bad, it all mixes up to turn
According
great.
to the situation,
Yes.
one is good, one is bad.
That a single thing. It's all about the perspectives, and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what makes it interesting, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
There is
It's like
actually a
how you
social-
see or how you understand the situation or the character, right?
Correct, correct.
The great learners of the past have also explained this in a simple sentence. Ekam sat vipraha vidanti. The truth is one, but it is explained as many.
Many, yeah. True,
Right.
true.
Wow.
So, here we conclude our video. Hope you like it and hope you connect us on your perspectives on these various characters which we have discussed.
You can connect with us on YouTube, Instagram.
Facebook,
And we are also launching our website soon.
For such amazing content, stay tuned and follow us. Thank you.
Thank you.